Love is one of the most powerful human emotions. When you see someone and your heart races, your mind keeps thinking about them constantly, and it feels like everything around you is changing. These feelings make love both enchanting and dangerous, because the intensity of love often weakens our ability to think logically and directs us toward people who may not actually be right for us. In other words, the reason we fall in love with the wrong people lies in our brain chemistry, past experiences, and the subconscious mechanisms of choice. Most of the time, what we call love is not just a choice of the heart. Brain chemicals, past traumas, and attachment patterns learned in childhood unconsciously pull us toward the wrong people. So why does this happen? First, we need to understand that the human brain releases large amounts of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin during love. These chemicals trigger feelings of happiness, attachment, and excitement. Especially dopamine makes us act almost like addicts. In other words, even if the person is not suitable for us, our brain codes the intense emotion we feel with them as a reward. This is why we can repeatedly make the same wrong choices while ignoring logic. Interestingly, some people unconsciously are drawn to unattainable or difficult partners. Our brain perceives what is hard to reach as more valuable. In this case, emotional pain can even feel like a form of attraction. Another reason is the attachment style learned in childhood. The relationship we had with our parents as children directly affects our adult love life. If love was inconsistent, insecure, or conditional during childhood, we unconsciously seek that familiar feeling in adulthood. For example, a person who had to constantly earn love as a child may be drawn to partners who make them feel they must fight for love. Essentially, the brain considers familiar experiences as safe, but just because something feels familiar doesn't mean it's healthy, and this is often why we attach to the wrong people. Society and media-imposed romantic patterns also contribute to this tendency. The bad boy figure in movies or the image of the unreachable woman makes us believe that exciting love can only happen in this way. Yet real love is built on peace, trust, and balance. Our mind tends to perceive challenging and passionate relationships as more real. Therefore, the attraction we feel toward the wrong people is actually an internal illusion. In short, the reasons we fall in love with the wrong people involve biological, psychological, and social factors. But this is just the beginning. Now, comes the crucial question. Why do we keep repeating the same mistakes? Why do we gravitate toward similar people even after heartbreak and disappointment? The answer lies deep in our subconscious. Often, we unconsciously try to relive our past. The reason we get attached to people who hurt us is that our mind is trying to complete unfinished stories. If you notice that you are attracted to people who resemble those who hurt you in the past, it is no coincidence. It is a subconscious trick. Entering new relationships without healing old wounds only leads to reopening the same pain. This is why repeating mistakes in love is inevitable if we do not resolve our past. At this point, it is important to remember, falling in love with the wrong people is not just happening to you. Millions of people around the world go through this cycle. What matters is recognizing the cycle and breaking it. So how can we break it? Why do we always find ourselves in the same story, and what are the ways to escape it? We will discuss these questions in detail in the second part. Falling into the traps of love is often painful. The attraction we feel for the wrong people can wear us down emotionally and psychologically. But understanding this and gaining self-awareness is the first step to breaking the cycle. First, we need to know that we are actually attached not to the person themselves, but to the feelings they evoke in us. In other words, when we fall in love, we are not truly loving the person's character, but the emotions they create in us. Sometimes it is excitement, sometimes passion, sometimes a familiar unease. If we grew up with pain and lack, we may unconsciously be drawn to that familiar unease again. A key reason many people fall for the wrong people is feeling unworthy. Deep down, someone who believes they do not deserve love will choose people who do not value them. The subconscious seeks to confirm internal beliefs. If the thought, "I am not worthy of love," exists, the person tends to stay in relationships where they are not loved. This is a kind of psychological loop. Therefore, if we want to change our love choices, we must first change our beliefs about ourselves. Another reason for falling for the wrong person is the desire to complete oneself. Many people want to fill their gaps through another person. For example, a person with low self-confidence may be attracted to someone very confident and dominant, but this often results in unbalanced relationships. A healthy relationship comes not from one person completing the other, but from two whole individuals coming together. If we choose someone to fill our voids, we feel completely lost when that person harms us. Seeing love as a challenge also draws us to the wrong people. For some, love is a game of obtaining what is hard to reach. Once the challenge ends, the relationship loses its charm. Real love is not a battle that requires constant effort, but a journey experienced in peace. So how can we break this cycle? First, we need to understand ourselves. Reflect on why you are drawn to similar types of people. Review your past relationships and notice patterns. By recognizing these patterns, you are seeing your subconscious blueprints. Second, value yourself. Do not think you have to earn a relationship. Love is not a reward for effort. It should come naturally because you deserve it. Third, set boundaries. When you realize someone is not good for you, learn to remove them from your life. Love is not about sacrificing your own worth in the name of devotion. Remember, falling in love with the wrong people is not fate. It is a cycle you need to recognize. When you become aware of it and learn to value yourself, finding the right people becomes inevitable. No matter how pure your emotions are, your choices need a conscious mind to be healthy. Finally, never blame yourself for loving the wrong person. This is an experience everyone has at least once. What matters is learning from it and making wiser choices in the future. Love is meant to strengthen you, not to hurt you. Now I want to ask you, have you ever fallen for the wrong person? How did it affect you? Share your experience in the comments. It might inspire or help someone else. And if this topic resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Together, we will continue exploring love, human psychology, and the secrets of life.